She's showing you she likes you, and she doesn't even know she's doing it. Think about this, folks. You're sitting across from her. Maybe it's a coffee shop. Maybe it's a dinner date. The conversation is flowing. She's smiling. But you're stuck in your head wondering, does she actually like me, or is she just being polite? Meanwhile, her body has already made the decision. Most men miss it, not because they're stupid, but because nobody ever taught them what to look for. So they wait for a clear sign, a bold statement, a dramatic move. That rarely happens, especially with mature women. Women in their 40s and 50s don't chase. They don't throw themselves at you. They communicate attraction in subtle biological ways. Through posture, through small movements, through the parts of their body they instinctively reveal when they feel safe and drawn to a man. And here's what makes this powerful. These signals are not rehearsed, they're not strategic. Her nervous system decides before her logic does, before she even admits it to herself. In this video, I'm going to break down 4 specific body parts she subtly exposes when she likes you, why it happens, what it means psychologically, and how a grounded Stoic man reads those signals without overthinking or freezing in the moment. Once you see it, you'll never miss it again. Let's get into it. Number 1. She exposes her neck. Let's start with one of the oldest attraction signals in human history, folks. The neck. Not just the fact that you can see it. I'm talking about when she tilts her head slightly to one side while you're speaking, when she brushes her hair away and leaves one side of her neck exposed, when her hand casually drifts up to touch her collarbone or play with a necklace while holding eye contact. That is not random. The neck is one of the most vulnerable areas of the human body. The carotid artery, the jugular vein, the airway. From an evolutionary standpoint, exposing the neck is a trust display. It signals safety. It signals openness. It says, without words, I don't see you as a threat. And attraction requires safety first. Let me give you a real example. Mark is 52, divorced, living in Dallas. He's on a second date with Linda, 48. They're sitting across from each other at a wine bar. At first, Linda is upright, composed. Her posture is neutral. But as the conversation shifts into more personal territory, something changes. She tilts her head slightly when he talks about his daughter. She laughs and tucks her hair behind her ear, leaving her neck exposed. A few minutes later, her fingers rest lightly at the base of her throat while she listens. Mark notices it, but he doesn't understand it. Here's what's happening. Linda's nervous system has relaxed. Her body is softening around him. That head tilt isn't weakness. It's receptivity. It's a biological gesture that predates language. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. The neck is also a pheromone projection zone. Thin skin, warm blood flow. When a woman touches her neck or brushes her hair away, she's subtly increasing scent exposure. She's not thinking about it. Her endocrine system is running the program. Her body has decided before her brain fully does. Another scenario. James, 55, is talking with Karen, 50, at a mutual friend's backyard gathering in Phoenix. There are other people around. She's engaged in the group conversation, but when James speaks, she angles her head slightly toward him. Her shoulder drops a bit. The side of her neck faces him. Even while laughing with others, her torso may be shared with the group, but her neck keeps returning toward him. That repetition matters. 1 accidental hair flip means nothing. 2 could be coincidence. 3 or more within a short interaction is a pattern, and patterns tell the truth. Let's be real here, my friend. Most men are looking at her words, or they're staring too obviously at her body in the wrong way. Meanwhile, the most honest signal is happening in plain sight. The Stoic approach is not to pounce on it, it's to observe calmly. If she exposes her neck repeatedly, your job is not to immediately escalate physically. Your job is to maintain grounded eye contact. Slow your movements, lower your tone slightly. Match her openness with composed presence, because attraction deepens when she feels both safe and slightly challenged. If Mark had recognized Linda's signals, He wouldn't have rushed to impress her with stories. He would have slowed down, let the tension build, allowed the moment to breathe. When a woman exposes her neck around you consistently, it means her guard is lowering, and when the guard lowers, desire has space to grow. But remember this, safety is the gateway. It is not the finish line. If you've ever noticed a woman tilting her head, brushing her hair back, or touching her neck while locking eyes with you, type this in the comments. I see the signs. Stay with me, because the next body part she exposes is even more subtle, and most men have never even considered it. Number 2, her wrists turn toward you. Now we move into something even more subtle, folks. The wrists. Most men never look there. They focus on lips, on eyes, on obvious gestures, but the wrists are one of the clearest unconscious signals of attraction a woman can display. Why? Because the wrists are vulnerable. The underside of the wrist is soft skin, pulse visible, veins close to the surface. From a biological standpoint, exposing the inner wrist is a trust display. It signals openness. It signals comfort. It signals that her nervous system does not see you as a threat, and attraction cannot grow without that baseline sense of safety. Let's break down what this looks like in real life. You're sitting across from her at dinner. She's talking. Her hands are on the table. If she's neutral or guarded, her palms may be down, wrists hidden, arms slightly crossed or angled inward. But when she's drawn to you, something shifts. Her palms turn upward. Her wrists face you. She gestures openly. Maybe she rests her chin on her hand, exposing the inner wrist toward you. Maybe she plays lightly with her bracelet or watch while maintaining eye contact. That's not random movement. Behavioral studies on nonverbal communication show that open palms are associated with honesty and receptivity. When the wrists are exposed, it amplifies that signal. It is the body saying, "I'm open." And here's what makes it powerful. It's unconscious. She's not thinking, "Let me show him my wrists." Her nervous system is relaxed, and when the body relaxes, it opens. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." In moments like this, your thoughts determine whether you misread the signal or respond with composure. Most men overreact. They see openness and immediately escalate awkwardly. They move too fast. They lean in too aggressively. That breaks the flow. A Stoic man observes first. If her wrists consistently face you while she talks, if her palms are open, if she keeps adjusting jewelry near her pulse points while holding your gaze, that's alignment. But one gesture alone means nothing. Remember the cluster principle. If she exposes her neck, turns her wrists toward you, and angles her body in your direction, now you're seeing a pattern. Patterns speak louder than isolated signals. There's another layer here most men miss. The wrist is also a scent point. Just like the neck, it carries subtle pheromones. When she touches her wrist or lightly brushes it while speaking to you, she may unconsciously be increasing scent diffusion. Again, not strategic, biological. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power." What is in your power here is not forcing a move. It is reading the moment correctly. When you notice her wrists open toward you, your response should be calm engagement. Maintain steady eye contact. Slightly lower your voice. Mirror her relaxed posture without copying it mechanically. That mirroring creates subconscious rapport, and rapport builds attraction. Let's be real here, my friend. Attraction is rarely loud. It's quiet. It's layered. It's built in micro-movements that most men overlook. When her wrists consistently face you, when her palms stay open instead of guarded, when she keeps her hands visible and relaxed around you, her body is signaling comfort and interest. And comfort is the foundation for desire. If you've ever noticed a woman's hands opening up around you while she listens closely, type this in the comments. I read the signals. Stay with me, because the next body part she reveals is even more revealing, and it changes the entire dynamic when you finally see it. Number 3. Her legs point at you. Now we're getting into something most men completely overlook, folks. Her legs. And no, I'm not talking about what she's wearing. I'm not talking about whether she's in a dress or jeans. I'm talking about direction, because the lower body is the most honest part of a human being. Facial expressions can lie. Words can lie. Even hand gestures can be controlled. But feet and legs, almost nobody monitors them consciously. And that's exactly why they tell the truth. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, her legs will orient toward you. Her toes will point in your direction, even if she's in a group conversation, even if she's talking to someone else. Check the angle of her lower body. That's where her subconscious is aimed. Let me give you a real scenario. Robert is 54, recently divorced, attending a networking event in Chicago. He's talking with a small group, including Susan, 49. Susan is facing the group politely, shoulders slightly angled. But Robert notices something interesting. Her feet are pointed directly at him. Even when she turns her head to respond to someone else, her legs remain aimed his way. When the group laughs, her upper body rotates outward briefly, but her lower body stays locked in. That's not random. Her subconscious has chosen a focal point. Now let's look at a different example. David, 51, is on a dinner date with Michelle, 47 inches, San Diego. They're sitting across from each other at a small table. Michelle crosses her legs slowly. The top leg points directly toward David. That's not just posture, that's orientation. If she were uncomfortable or uninterested, that top leg would angle away. It would create a barrier, a subtle wall. But when the leg crosses toward you, it's an invitation, it's alignment. And here's where it gets even more interesting. When attraction increases, the lower body often becomes restless. Not because she's bored, because her nervous system is activated. You may notice subtle leg bouncing, shifting weight from one hip to the other, slow crossing and uncrossing. These movements are often linked to dopamine and adrenaline spikes. Attraction creates energy. The body needs somewhere to discharge it. Michelle wasn't fidgeting out of discomfort. Her system was stimulated. Let's be real here, my friend. Most men misread this completely. They assume restlessness means she wants to leave. They interpret leg movement as impatience. But context matters. Is she maintaining eye contact? Is she smiling? Are her feet still pointed toward you? If yes, that energy is attraction. A Stoic man doesn't jump to conclusions. He observes patterns. If her legs consistently orient toward you across multiple moments, that's intentional at the subconscious level. Robert didn't pounce when he noticed Susan's feet aimed at him. He simply slowed his speech slightly, made stronger eye contact, allowed the conversation to narrow naturally. Within minutes, Susan shifted her entire torso toward him. The lower body led the way. And that's the sequence you need to understand. The legs move first, the torso follows, the conversation deepens. Here's something else powerful. When a woman is standing in a group and begins angling one leg toward you while the rest of her body stays socially aligned, that's transitional interest. She's not ready to break away yet, but her body is testing the direction. If you respond with grounded presence, she will eventually rotate fully. But if you overreact, you break the subtle dance. Epictetus taught that wisdom comes from learning to see things as they are, not as we assume them to be. When it comes to attraction, assumptions ruin moments. Observation preserves them. So, watch her feet, watch her knees, watch the direction of her crossed leg, because the body rarely lies below the waist. If you've ever noticed a woman's legs angling toward you before anything else shifted, type this in the comments. I see the alignment. Don't go anywhere, because the next signal is the one that confirms everything, and when you recognize it, there will be no doubt left. Number 4. Her torso faces you fully. Now we arrive at the strongest signal of all, folks. Her torso, not her smile, not her words, not even her hands. Her center. When a woman turns her full torso toward you, chest and stomach facing you directly, that is one of the clearest nonverbal indicators of attraction and comfort combined. Let's break this down clearly. The front of the human body is the most vulnerable area we have. The heart, the lungs, the stomach. Every vital organ is exposed from the front. From a survival perspective, we protect that area instinctively. That's why when people feel defensive, they angle away. They turn sideways. They cross arms. They create barriers. So when she faces you fully, without angling, without shielding, that means something. It means her nervous system has classified you as safe, and safety is the gateway to desire. In social neuroscience research, full frontal orientation is one of the strongest predictors of engagement and interest. When attraction is present, people unconsciously square their torso toward the person they're drawn to within the first few minutes of interaction. They don't think about it. Their body chooses first. Now here's where most men miss the moment. They focus on surface-level signs: laughing, eye contact, playful teasing. But the torso is harder to fake. It requires the body to commit. When she's slightly angled, she's socially engaged. When she squares up, she's personally engaged. There's a difference. Let's be real here, my friend. A mature woman is not careless with her openness. If she's facing you fully, leaning slightly forward, perhaps adjusting her shirt subtly, or resting her hand near her midsection, while maintaining eye contact, that's ventral display. That's what behavioral scientists call exposing the center line. It is trust, it is receptivity, and it is attraction layered together. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If your thoughts are anxious, you'll misread this moment. If your thoughts are grounded, you'll recognize what's happening without forcing anything. When her torso faces you fully, your response should not be to rush. It should be to slow down, lower your voice slightly, hold eye contact half a second longer. Lean in just enough to match her engagement, not overpower it. That balance deepens the connection. Here's something powerful. When she maintains full frontal orientation, even when distractions appear, when others speak, when the environment shifts, that consistency confirms interest. The body always returns to what it values. And if it keeps returning to you, that tells you everything. If you've ever felt a woman square her body toward you and the entire atmosphere shift, type this in the comments. I recognize the shift. And if you're serious about mastering this level of awareness and masculine presence, join the membership. Inside, we go deeper into advanced relationship psychology, real-world interaction breakdowns, and practical Stoic strategies you can apply immediately. Because knowing the signals is one thing, becoming the man who responds to them correctly is another. Stay tuned, because when you combine all four signals together, attraction stops being a mystery and starts becoming predictable. Number 5. She tilts her head slowly. Now this one looks innocent, folks. Almost too innocent. A slow head tilt. But don't underestimate it. When a woman tilts her head slightly to one side while looking at you, especially during a personal or emotionally charged moment, that's not random posture. That's biological openness. The side tilt exposes the neck, and as we discussed earlier, the neck is one of the most vulnerable parts of the human body. When she angles her head and holds eye contact, she is softening her frame. Softening does not mean weak, it means receptive. Let me give you a real-world example. Daniel is 53, recently back in the dating world in Nashville. He's having dinner with Laura, 49. They're mid-conversation talking about family. Daniel mentions something personal about rebuilding his life after divorce. Laura's posture shifts. She tilts her head slowly to the right. Her chin lowers slightly. Her eyes stay locked on him. The movement is subtle, but it changes the entire tone of the moment. That head tilt signals empathy. It signals engagement. And beneath that, it signals attraction. Another scenario. Kevin, 50, is meeting Allison, 46, at a rooftop bar in Miami. The energy is light at first, playful teasing, casual jokes. But when Kevin lowers his voice and says something slightly more intimate, Allison tilts her head and smiles softly. She isn't laughing loudly anymore. She's leaning in emotionally. That tilt, combined with softened eye contact, tells Kevin something important. She feels safe. Now, here's the psychology behind it. In evolutionary terms, head tilting is associated with trust and non-threat displays. Animals do it. Humans do it. It exposes the side of the neck and signals that defenses are lowered. But here's where most men misread it. They assume it's just politeness. Let's be real here, my friend. If she tilts her head once, it could mean nothing. But if she does it repeatedly while maintaining eye contact, especially during deeper conversation, that's alignment. And alignment builds momentum. The Stoic response is not to jump forward aggressively. It's to deepen the moment. Lower your tone slightly. Slow your movements. Hold the eye contact for half a second longer, because when she tilts her head slowly, she's leaning emotionally toward you. If Daniel had rushed into humor to break the tension, he would have diluted the moment. Instead, he paused, held her gaze, let the silence breathe. Laura leaned in even closer. That's how polarity builds. Head tilt is often the bridge between casual interaction and emotional connection. It's subtle, it's layered, and it almost always appears alongside other signals we've discussed. Open wrists, aligned legs, squared torso. Signals cluster, and when they cluster, attraction becomes clear. If you've ever noticed a woman tilting her head while looking at you in a quiet moment, type this in the comments. I notice the shift. Stay with me, because what comes next moves from emotional softness into a signal that carries far more physical tension. Number 6. Her lips part subtly. Now we move into a signal that shifts the atmosphere instantly, folks. Her lips. Not lipstick, not how full they are, not whether she's smiling. I'm talking about the moment her lips part slightly while she's looking at you. It's subtle, almost unnoticeable, but once you see it, you'll never miss it again. Oxygen demand increases, and one of the most common physical responses is slightly parted lips. It's not posed, it's physiological. The mouth opens just enough to allow deeper breathing, and when it happens while she's maintaining eye contact with you, that's not boredom. That's arousal building quietly. Let's break this down carefully. If her lips part for a second while she's speaking, that means nothing. But if she stops talking, holds eye contact, and her lips remain slightly open for a moment longer than necessary, that's tension. That's anticipation. And anticipation is the bridge between interest and intimacy. Now here's where most men panic. They see it. They feel the shift. And they rush. They lean in too fast. They over-smile. They break the tension with nervous laughter. A Stoic man does the opposite. He holds steady. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." In this moment, the outside event is the tension. Your power is in how you regulate yourself inside it. If her lips part subtly while she's looking at you, your job is not to immediately close the distance. Your job is to maintain presence. Slow your breathing, lower your tone, let the silence stretch for a second, because here's what's really happening. When her lips part and her gaze lingers, she is subconsciously imagining the next step. The body is preparing before the mind fully commits. But the body also tests you. If you break frame, the moment collapses. If you stay grounded, the tension intensifies. Epictetus taught that discipline is freedom. Emotional discipline in attraction is rare. Most men chase relief from tension. They rush to resolve it. But attraction feeds on tension. And subtle parted lips are one of the clearest signs that tension has entered the room. There's another layer here. Lips are highly sensitive tissue. When blood flow increases due to attraction, they often appear slightly fuller. Combined with soft eye contact and relaxed posture, this creates what psychologists call a readiness signal, not a guarantee, but readiness. Let's be real, my friend. If she's angling her torso toward you, her wrists are open, her legs are aligned, and now her lips part while holding eye contact. That's not coincidence. That's clustering, signals stacking, and when signals stack, the moment becomes clear. Your response should be calm escalation, not aggression. Lean slightly closer. Lower your voice. Let your eyes drop briefly to her lips and return to her eyes without staring. Confidence without hunger. Control without hesitation. If she maintains the gaze and doesn't pull back, the window is open. If she looks away quickly or closes her posture, you reset calmly. No embarrassment, no apology. Strength is in composure. If you've ever felt that silent moment when her lips parted and the entire atmosphere shifted, type this in the comments. I hold the tension. Stay with me, because what comes next ties everything together and reveals when the attraction has moved beyond subtle and into certainty. Number 7. She plays with her hair. Now this one is classic, folks. But most men still misread it. When a woman starts playing with her hair around you, twisting it lightly, brushing it back slowly, running her fingers through it, while maintaining eye contact that is not random grooming, it's display. Hair has always been a symbol of femininity and attraction. Across cultures and centuries long, healthy hair signals vitality. So, when she draws attention to it, especially in your presence, that is rarely accidental. But let's get specific. There's a difference between fixing messy hair and playing with it. If she quickly adjusts it and moves on, that's maintenance. If she slowly twirls a strand while listening to you, that's engagement. If she brushes her hair to one side and leaves her neck exposed, that's openness layered on top of attraction. Let me give you a real example. Michael is 56 at a small wine tasting event in Sonoma. He's talking to Denise, 51. The conversation starts casually. As he begins telling a story about rebuilding his business after a setback, Denise's posture shifts. She lifts her hand and slowly runs her fingers through her hair. Then she tucks it behind her ear. A few minutes later, she twirls a small strand while holding eye contact. She isn't nervous, she's focused. That repetitive motion signals stimulation. Her nervous system is activated. Dopamine is circulating. Energy needs somewhere to go, and hair play becomes a subtle outlet. Another scenario. Brian, 52, is on a second date with Carla, 48 inches, Atlanta. They're seated close at a jazz lounge. As Brian lowers his voice and shifts the conversation into something more personal, Carla begins slowly sweeping her hair over one shoulder. Then she adjusts it again, even though it was already in place. That repetition matters. Let's be honest, my friend. Women do not typically draw attention to themselves around men they are indifferent to. When attraction is present, self-awareness increases. She becomes slightly more conscious of how she looks, and without thinking about it, she highlights features she knows are feminine. Hair is one of them. But here's the nuance. Hair play combined with eye contact is far stronger than hair play alone. Denise wasn't looking at her phone while touching her hair. She was locked in on Michael. Carla wasn't distracted. She was leaning slightly forward while adjusting her hair. That alignment amplifies the signal. The Stoic response is composure. If you notice her playing with her hair repeatedly while engaging deeply with you, do not immediately escalate. Do not comment awkwardly. Do not break the rhythm. Slow down. Hold eye contact a fraction longer. Lower your tone slightly. Let the tension breathe. Because hair play often appears when attraction begins crossing from friendly into charged. There's another layer here. Sometimes hair play happens when she's slightly nervous in a positive way. That nervous energy is not discomfort, it's anticipation. Michael didn't interrupt Denise's gesture. He allowed the conversation to deepen naturally. Within minutes, she moved closer physically. Signals cluster. If she's playing with her hair, exposing her neck, angling her legs toward you, and keeping her torso open, that's not coincidence. That's momentum. If you've ever noticed a woman repeatedly touching or adjusting her hair while looking directly at you, type this in the comments. I see the pattern. Let's keep going, because what comes next is even more revealing and almost impossible to fake once you understand it. Number 8. She adjusts her clothes near you. Now this one is easy to misinterpret if you don't slow down, folks. When a woman adjusts her clothes around you, it can mean nothing, or it can mean everything. The key is context and repetition. We're not talking about fixing something uncomfortable or pulling down a sleeve once. We're talking about subtle, repeated adjustments that happen when you're present. Straightening her blouse, smoothing her dress, slightly tugging at the neckline, adjusting her jacket while holding eye contact. Those micro movements are often subconscious self-presentation signals. Here's what's happening beneath the surface. When attraction rises, self-awareness rises with it. Her nervous system becomes more alert. Dopamine and adrenaline increase. She becomes more conscious of how she looks in your presence, not because she's insecure, because she cares. And caring creates adjustment. Behavioral scientists call this preening behavior. It's common across species. When an individual is attracted to another, grooming behaviors increase. In humans, that often shows up as fixing clothing, adjusting posture, or subtly enhancing appearance. But here's the nuance. If she adjusts her clothing while maintaining eye contact, that's stronger than if she does it distractedly. If she smooths the fabric across her torso while facing you fully, that's stronger than if she turns away. And if those adjustments cluster with other signals, open wrists, angled legs, parted lips, that's when the pattern becomes clear. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Most men let uncertainty stand in the way. A Stoic man uses observation as his advantage. When you see her subtly adjust her clothes while staying engaged with you, you don't comment on it awkwardly. You don't stare. You don't overreact. You remain grounded. You allow the moment to breathe. There's another psychological layer here. Adjusting clothing often draws attention to specific areas of the body without directly displaying them. Smoothing the front of a blouse, adjusting the waistline, lightly touching the collarbone area. These gestures are not explicit, they are suggestive. They say, "Notice me," without saying it. And because they are subtle, they feel natural rather than forced. Let's be honest, my friend. If she were indifferent, she wouldn't invest that energy. Indifference looks relaxed but disengaged. Attraction looks attentive and slightly heightened. When she adjusts her clothes while leaning toward you, when her torso is open and her body remains oriented in your direction, that's not coincidence, that's awareness. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." If you want to be the man who leads calmly, then act like it in these moments. Observe, stay composed. Escalate slowly if the alignment continues, because attraction is a dance, and clothing adjustments are often the rhythm shift that signals she's stepping closer emotionally and physically. If you've ever noticed her subtly fixing her outfit while holding your gaze, type this in the comments. I catch the details. Don't go anywhere, because what comes next ties all of this together and makes the signal impossible to ignore. Number 9. Her pupils dilate around you. This one, folks, you can't fake. You can control your words. You can control your posture. You can even control your smile. But pupil dilation, that's biology. That's the nervous system reacting in real time. When a woman's pupils widen while she's looking at you, it often signals heightened emotional or physical interest. It's not something she decides to do. It happens automatically when dopamine rises and her brain registers you as stimulating. Let me paint this clearly. David, 47, divorced successful contractor, meets Laura, 44, at a wine bar in Austin. They're talking about travel, nothing sexual, nothing overly flirtatious, just conversation. But every time David leans in slightly and lowers his voice, Laura's eyes soften. Her pupils expand. She holds his gaze half a second longer than normal. That half second matters. Now, we need to stay grounded here. Lighting affects pupils. Dim rooms naturally cause dilation. So you don't jump to conclusions based on one glance in a dark restaurant. But here's the difference. If her pupils noticeably widen when she locks eyes with you, and that dilation pairs with relaxed facial muscles, parted lips, or slower blinking, that's not random. That's attraction. Let's be straight about it, my friend. The eyes are the gateway to emotional exposure. When a woman feels safe and stimulated at the same time, her body opens in subtle ways. Pupil dilation is one of the clearest non-verbal cues because it's involuntary. It signals interest before words ever do. Think about how this plays out in real life. David didn't stare awkwardly at Laura's eyes, trying to measure her pupils like a scientist. He simply stayed present, calm. He held eye contact confidently without forcing intensity. That's key. When you notice her pupils widening, your move is not to rush. It's to deepen the moment. Slow your speech slightly. Lower your tone. Hold the gaze just a touch longer. Then look away first. Control. That's Stoic strength, Seneca said. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Most men overthink signals. They doubt themselves. They talk themselves out of acting because they're afraid of misreading attraction. But when multiple signals align, open body language, proximity, soft voice, and dilated pupils, the pattern becomes undeniable. Here's the deeper layer. Pupil dilation also increases when a woman feels emotionally absorbed. That means she's not just physically attracted, she's mentally engaged. You have her attention, and attention is the first currency of desire. A woman who isn't interested will break eye contact quickly. Her pupils won't hold that expanded look while studying your face. A woman who is intrigued will stay. She'll look at your mouth briefly, then back to your eyes. And in that exchange you'll see it. Intensity without fear. Curiosity without resistance. That's your window. If you've ever caught that look, that moment when her eyes seem darker and deeper when she's staring at you, type this in the comments. I see the signs. Stay with me, because the final piece pulls everything together and shows you what really makes her feel secure enough to lean all the way in. Number 10. Her body stops guarding itself. This is the final shift, folks. When a woman truly likes you, her body stops protecting itself. And that change is quiet but powerful. Let's break this down clearly. When attraction is uncertain, the body guards. Arms cross, shoulders tighten, legs angle away. A purse sits like a barrier. Movements are small and contained. That's the nervous system staying cautious. But when she feels drawn to you and safe with you, that guarding dissolves. Her arms relax at her sides. Her hands rest openly. Her shoulders drop. Her breathing slows. Her torso remains exposed without hesitation. She leans back comfortably instead of bracing forward. This isn't about sexuality alone. It's about trust, meeting desire. Let me give you a real example. Mark, 52, meets Denise, 48, at a mutual friend's dinner party in Chicago. At first, Denise sits upright, arms loosely folded, polite smile. She's evaluating, guarded but friendly. As the night goes on, Mark stays steady. He listens more than he talks. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't try to impress. His tone remains grounded. 30 minutes later, Denise's posture changes. Her arms unfold completely. Her body angles toward him. She rests her hand openly on the table instead of holding her glass tightly. Her legs cross toward him, not away. The guarding is gone. That shift didn't happen because Mark chased. It happened because he created calm. Let's be honest, my friend. A mature woman does not relax her physical defenses around a man she doesn't trust or desire. Her body is intelligent. It scans for safety constantly. When it senses steadiness, leadership, emotional control, it releases tension. And release is intimacy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." A Stoic man understands that his internal state shapes the environment. If you are anxious, she feels it. If you are desperate, she braces. If you are centered, she softens. Her body not guarding itself means she feels no threat. And here's the deeper layer. When a woman stops guarding her body, she also stops guarding her emotions. Her laughter becomes fuller, her eye contact becomes warmer, her proximity increases naturally. She doesn't flinch when your knee brushes hers. She doesn't retreat when you lean closer. That's alignment. But here's where many men ruin it. They sense her openness and immediately rush. They escalate too fast. They become grabby, overly sexual, or overly intense. The moment she feels pressure, the guarding returns instantly. So, what do you do instead? You match her relaxation with controlled presence. You move slowly. You let your hand rest confidently but respectfully, if the moment allows. You maintain steady eye contact. You allow silence to exist without filling it nervously. Because when her body stops guarding itself, she is giving you something valuable. Access, not just to her physical space, to her emotional world. And that, folks, is the real signal she's already chosen you, not because you forced it, but because you became the kind of man her nervous system trusts. That's the difference between chasing attraction and earning it. And when you earn it, her body tells the story long before her words ever will. All right, folks, today we broke down the real signals a woman shows when she genuinely likes you. Not the words, not the surface-level flirting, the body language, the nervous system shifts, the subtle changes most men overlook. We talked about how she exposes vulnerable areas like her neck and wrists, how her legs and torso orient toward you, how her pupils widen, how her lips part, how she plays with her hair, and most importantly, how her body slowly stops guarding itself around you. This wasn't about manipulation, it was about awareness. When you understand these signals, you stop guessing, you stop chasing, you stop overthinking every interaction. You move with calm confidence because you can read what's already happening beneath the surface. That's what separates reactive men from grounded men. If you want to go deeper into this level of psychology, attraction dynamics, and Stoic masculine presence, consider joining the membership. Inside, we break these patterns down in ways YouTube can't. More depth, more strategy, more real-world application. And if this video helped you see things differently, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're building men who lead with calm strength, not desperation. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I appreciate you, my friend. I'll see you in the next video.